What is up, everybody? Long time no see. A lot has gone on in the last 12 months. And I'm about to spill the tea in this video. So, sit back, grab your popcorn, and I'm about to unleash the full spiel of what all happened in this last 12 months and what I'm doing now. Um, so a lot of you guys know I'm no longer with Martin. Um, sad, sad story. I really could see myself retiring from that company, but managers couldn't let the ego go. Some of the reason I think why things have been going the way they've been going is just the spot market is just terrible, and they're not getting the right amount of money for the freight that they're wanting. So
Quit it.
sorry, that's my that's my little golden chasing his tail in a circle in the middle of my video. Let's see if I can set you guys back up here. So damn it. All right. So yeah, so the spot market was down, and this dog, man. The spot market's down, and so that's kind of the reason why they haven't been paying our full guarantee, but there's still no excuse. Like, we were on a dedicated account, and it was Coca-Cola, multi-billion-dollar industry. There's no reason why we couldn't get paid for what we did, especially if we delivered the loads on time. So I left Martin due to all that stuff, and that previous video I was talking about how Martin was trying to make me run through storms and stuff like that. I meant like tornado, like weather. I run in rain and storms like that, but the tornado sirens were literally going off. It was like 2 weeks straight of like tornado like weather. Like the whole radar was red. There's tornadoes dropping everywhere. I was in Wyland, Missouri, which is like 5 miles from the Iowa border, because that's my route when I'm coming back from Des Moines. And I was at that pilot there, and I was just sitting in my truck, and he was like, "Come on, you gotta get going." I was like, "The tornado sirens are going off." I'm like, "I'm not moving this truck." Like, all the drivers are literally inside the pilot, waiting for the storm to pass. So he wrote me up for that, for calling off. And I was like, F this. So I started looking at jobs and stuff on there, and then I came across this job called Woody Bogler Trucking Company. And I was out of that truck and within 3 days. And because this all happened on a Thursday or Friday or whatever, I was out of the truck at Martin on a Tuesday, and I went to Woody Bogler, and they talked. Like, I was confused on what I was going to do, and so they got me a rental car. It was a nice ass rental car. Like, it was an expensive one. It was like a Volkswagen. It was a 2023 Volkswagen or something like that. I got that, and I took it to Martin. Martin didn't offer to help me take any of my stuff out of the truck. They didn't offer to take me to pick up my rental car. I had to Uber everything. I went in and I was like, here's my ID card. I'm resigning from Martin. And I handed it to the mechanic, and he's like, "All right, thank you." Like, it was a normal thing. I'm like, "Oh shit." So I get all my stuff out of the car, move, and inbound to Woody Bogler. I thought they were gonna put me in a hotel. They had like a rental property next to the terminal, because it's a small terminal, and that motherfucker was, I'm not gonna say it was raggedy because it was clean because they have people come out there and clean it, but like I'm like, this is kind of weird. Like what? Because Woody Bogler's out in the middle of the country, and I was like, oh okay, but I was like 30 minutes away from like a major city called Washington, Missouri, where they had hotels there. I would rather have been in a hotel. I don't like staying in the same building or same area as another driver. But the other driver was cool. We talked. We did nothing but sit there and talk. The drivers there were cool and everything. So the orientation at Woody Bogler, it was okay. Like I had experience, so they were telling me what I needed to do for end dump, and I was like, they said you got to hop in the trailer and clean it out with certain chemical, and each stuff that you put into the end dump, you got to make sure you use the right chemical to clean out the trailer with. I'm like, so we got to do that each load? And they're like, yeah, and you get a paid percentage. I was like, oh Jesus. I was like, all right. I was starting to second guess. I was like, damn, I wish I would have known all this before. Like I wouldn't have even came here if they're wanting me to climb into a trailer in the back of a trailer, 100 degrees outside, doing all this crap. And I'm like, I'm just gonna stick to. I want to stick to what I know, and that's dry van. And they're like, yeah, we can do dry van, but it's gonna be OTR. I'm like, Jesus. I was like, that's all you guys got is OTR, and they're like, yeah. I was like, all right, how bad can it be? So got my truck. It was a nice red, clean, looked clean on the outside. It was real clean. It had they said we have TVs inside the units, along with a cable dish unit that came on them. But that's what they told me before I actually came to Woody. I got into the truck. I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna hook up this DirecTV, whatever it is. The DirecTV was like in the seat. It wasn't even hooked up. And they said you have to face your truck at a certain angle for the DirecTV to work. I'm like, oh god, this sounds like so much work. So I didn't even bother. I just brought my Xbox and had my own monitor there. And I had my Wi-Fi hotspot. And that's what I pretty much use to stream all my movies and stuff like that. And that lasted about a week and a half until I started itching like really bad. And I was like, what the heck is going on? Why am I breaking out? Because that's what it looked like. It looked like I was breaking out, but my whole back was just covered in huge red bumps. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, what is all these bumps? And I couldn't sleep. I was going on for like an hour of sleep because my first load was from somewhere in mid-Missouri, and it went down to Texas, Dallas, Texas. So I took that down there, and I parked in Oklahoma somewhere, and I couldn't sleep for however long because my back was hurting, or my back was itching really bad. So I got up, and then once my clock ended, I went to Dallas, and then delivered that load in Dallas, and then shut down, and I was waiting to get unloaded for like 3 hours. And I told dispatch, I was like, hey, my back is freaking itching right now. Like, I don't know what's going on. I need to go see a doctor or something. So they gave me a load from Dallas to somewhere in Indiana. And I drove that. And they're like, well, just wait until you get back from home time. And I was like, all right, whatever. So I went to Dallas to Indiana, delivered that load, and then Indiana to back home to St. Louis. So I got there, parked my truck, and I went to go to the doctor. The doctor said, those are some huge bites. I was like, yeah, is it a breakout or are they bites? She's like, no, they're bites. I was like, rolled my eyes. I was like, they're bed bug bites, aren't they? she's like, yeah, it looks definitely like bed bug bites. I was pissed off. I looked at all my clothes and everything, and they were just covered in bed bugs. I was like, they said they cleaned this fucking truck. Like, I'm like, how's there bed bugs? And like, you guys just let us sleep on the same mattress? Like, that's like fucking unsanitary. And I told dispatch, I was like, hey, if there's bed bugs in this truck, like, I'm out. Like, don't even bother getting me another truck. They're like, no, you can't leave. I'm like, no, like, you don't understand. Like, that's my perception of how y'all run things. You just give the new hires, like, the piece of shit, like, run down trucks. Mind you, they're spec'd ridiculously. Like, I had a Peterbilt, but they're on super singles with the little wind guards on the side. And I was running dry van heavy loads, and when I went to go pick up that load in mid-Missouri, like I was talking about before, I got stuck at the yard because it was on a mud or a dirt yard. And when I went to go back in and hook my trailer up, the wheels stuck into the mud, and I was stuck. I had to uncouple it and like lower the airbags, and then get it to where I can pull the trailer out a little bit so I can get enough traction, and then I did the rest. I eventually got out, but it was just a pain in the ass. But the only good thing was they were governed at 70, so I was moving. But that company came to an abrupt end when I found out they gave me a truck littered with bed bugs. That pissed me off to no end. And they tried to make it up to me saying that they're going to give me a brand new truck. I had one of my buddies that at the time that was still working there go look at the truck, and like, he told me that it was 500,000 miles on the truck too. And the truck they gave me had almost 600,000 miles on that son of a bitch. I'm like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, y'all so worried about saving money, but like, this shit's liable to break down any minute. And you're going to just spend more money putting me in another truck that has 500,000 miles on it. So I was fed up with that shit. And I was like, are you guys going to come treat this truck so I can get the rest of my shit out? And they're like, yeah, it's going to be about a month before we can get to you. I was like, a month? I was like, whatever. I had money saved up to last me. Had a little safety blanket set up to hold me over for a month. So I was like, all right, whatever. So I went set up home for a month. And mind you, my whole back was just itchy. I was scabbing like it was bad. And it healed up within a week after I got out of the truck. So I was like, hell no, I'm not going back in there. And they said they're going to have their mechanics go out there and bomb the truck with pests and stuff so I can get the rest of my stuff out. So I grabbed majority of my clothes, and I just went outside to my girlfriend's or my fiance's dad's house, and he has a huge deck, and I just laid them all out. And it was literally 100 degrees that day. I just laid them all out, and I left them out there at the heat of the day for 3 or 4 hours, and then I took them and got them washed and everything to get all the bed bugs and stuff out of there. But I had a whole bunch of expensive stuff still left in the truck. I had my Xbox One X still in there. I had my monitor. I had my Wi-Fi box. I had my expensive ass. It was not a mini fridge. It was like a cooler, but it was technically a mini fridge. It was like $2,000 worth of stuff in there. They did not let me know that they're coming to pick up the truck like 2 weeks after. I was already in the process of moving all my stuff out of there each day. And I was literally coming back that day to come get my Xbox and the rest of my stuff. They took the truck and didn't let me know. So I called and was like, hey, where's my stuff at? And nobody answered. Like, they wouldn't call me back, nothing. They ghosted me till this day. So my guess is they threw away all my stuff. Didn't hear nothing back. So I'm like, great. Nothing I could do. I was like, whatever. I was pissed off. And everybody's like, you should have sued him for that. And I was like, I plan on it, but it's been over a year, and I'm just not getting into the headache right now. So I quit there, and I looked at other jobs, and I found the West Side Transport. That company was like Martin made over at the beginning. Sorry, I'm a little under the weather. My nose is stuffy, but it was nice at the beginning. Uh, you know, they it was just a regular job. I had a easy, dedicated run, doing International Paper and Quaker Oats, which is the easy peasy lemon squeezy, like 4 hour runs, boom, 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 and I was done. I was running hard. I never refused a single load until the 3 month mark hit, and I was involved in a automobile accident with my family inside, uh, which caused me to have three herniated discs, and it was a rear end collision, but it was three herniated discs, bulging discs, all that other stuff. I was messed up. I couldn't walk for a certain amount of time because my back was hurting so bad. So I got an attorney for that, and getting all my stuff situated for that, and they had to accommodate, like, I had to go to physical therapy and everything else because of my back, because the guy smoked me at like 45 fucking miles an hour at a dead stop at a stop sign. And uh after that, um got the attorney and everything. I was doing about month and a half of physical therapy, which didn't work. It was just more chronic pain. Like, it was just constant pain. It wasn't like pain that you needed to work out to help get back working right. So I had, a feeling when a company starts changing up certain things. Westside started changing up real quick. We had this new Qualcomm called the Isaac system they installed, and they got rid of their old tablets and everything. Once they got this Isaac system, it could track everything. It shows your speed limit, and they get on you. They're strict about everything. You get in trouble for going 3 miles over the speed limit. If you do it 3 consecutive times, you get fired. They're really strict on all that. So, me at Martin, all I did was split sleeper, like, because you didn't know how long the shipper was going to take to unload you, anything like that. And I know the split sleeper rule that helps me save time, and I can, if I ever get tired of driving, even though I'm going to make my on-time delivery, I can just shut down and take a little nap and still have my time left on my clock to keep driving. So I did that ever since I got the Isaac system, which was in August. My accident happened in August as well, but that's besides the point. And I've been driving, like, with the split sleeper for like months, and I got a call from the safety in like October saying I went over my hours on my hours of service, and I was confused. I was like, the Isaac system never notified me, and I'm always looking at my clock like I never go over my hours. I'm like, what are you talking about? And she was so rude. Like, you guys don't understand how rude she was. She's like, no, you went over your hours of service. Like, I have it right here, right in front of me. You went over your hours of service. I was like, no, I didn't. She's like, okay, this is just your warning, but you need to be mindful of your hours of service. If you go over it again, it's going to be a corrective action. I was like, oh, Jesus, here we go again. Martin, round two. So 2 months go by after I was completely done with all my physical therapy. Was back to work full time. I was still working when I was on physical therapy, but I had to go in a little later on Mondays and uh, got off a little earlier on Fridays. And I got there on when I started back full time, and then I started my first month back. She hit me up again in November saying I went over my hours of service. I was like, no, I didn't. Like, I have it right here in front of me. I keep watching ever since you guys told me I went over it the first time. She's like, well, we're going to have a talk with the safety director because this is the second time this has happened, and we're going to make you sign a corrective action plan. I'm like, what the heck is a corrective action plan? So I contacted my dispatcher. I was like, what the heck is that? They're like, it's not like a write-up. It's just something to monitor you. I was like, so it's basically a write-up. And so I got a call from the safety director, and he explained it. He's like, it's not a write-up. It's just, I hate write-ups. If I wanted to get rid of you, I could. I was like, okay. I understand. And he didn't let me talk. Like, he was talking. He's one of those guys that talk so fast, and he was like one of the business, real important people. Like, he talked to get his point across, and after you heard it, he would hang up the phone. He didn't want to hear your side. So I was like, okay, whatever. So my dispatcher said, you need to sign the corrective action plan before I can dispatch you. I was like, I'm not signing that corrective action plan. I didn't commit nothing. I'll stand 10 tones down on what I commit. And I did not go over my hours of service. So he called, like, the next day or later that day and went the fuck off on me. Like, cussed me out and everything. Because I said, I know my legal rights, and I know what it means when I sign a document. Anybody that knows that's studied law, like, if you sign a document of proof, you're basically agreeing to it. Like, when you get a ticket for speeding and they have you sign that ticket, you're agreeing that you committed that infraction. That's common knowledge. That's why the whole justice system is corrupt, but that's besides the point. That's why I said I'm not signing that. I'm like, I'm not incriminating myself saying I violated the hour of service, because I didn't. So that was a big problem with him. And ever since that day, like, it just went downhill. They wanted to get rid of me since then. And I wasn't even there for 4 or 5 months. So I stayed there for like six and a half months. And they keep giving me piece of shit trucks. They took away my Volvo that only needed a sensor replaced because it was a bad sensor. They didn't replace it because they were selling all the Volvos. They put me in a piece of shit fucking Freightliner. It blew the fucking radiator the week after I got the fucking truck. I was pissed. And then I was in a fucking hotel for fucking 5 days until they got it fixed. And then I returned it because there was a loaner truck. I got that back because they didn't really sell my Volvo at the time because I hit a deer. But all they had to do was replace the bumper, but the bumper was on back order for like a week and a half. So I was in that loaner truck. I got my truck back, and then something else went wrong with the Volvo, where they needed to go to do a diagnostic on it. So they gave me another loaner truck, and they were like, "Oh, we're just gonna keep this Volvo. We're just gonna sell it." I'm like, whatever. Got pissed off. So they sold it, and they gave me a Freightliner, but it was a different one. It wasn't the one I had before. This other Freightliner broke down too. I'm like, gave me nothing but trucks that broke down since I've been here. And then I keep getting corrective action plans and stuff like that. And it was just a all big hassle. So when he gave me that corrective action plan, they made me go in person to sign it, because I went off on my dispatcher because he started getting real disrespectful too. And once he did that, I went and sat down with the head of dedicated in a private room, which I should have recorded. If any dispatcher, anybody head up decides to put you in a private room to explain something to you that you're getting in trouble for, record it. I'm being dead serious. Do not go in there with nothing documented. Your phone has a memo thing for recording. All iPhones have it. Hit that button, put it in your pocket. That's all you needed to do. If you hit that button and put it in your pocket, it'll record the whole thing, and then when you get out of that meeting, you just hit stop, and it's clear as day. I did that at my last job and got the head boss in trouble. That's why, I'm at home, because I want a settlement. It's how it goes. I'm a litigious mother mf'er. Quick. Like, this day and age, people treat you wrong. Like, you gotta sue them. Like, that's just how it goes. Like, that's all I've been doing. And once an attorney hears that you recorded the whole conversation, they can go in it and depict it and determine legal action and stuff like that. Because I was dumb. I didn't record it because I didn't know he was just bring me to a private room. I thought he was just going to talk to me like